Hello, my name is Eisen. Hope you're having a good one. Hope you're taking care. And this video is going to be a account account review slash Lara thoughts and concerns on the class after 2 years of the class being out and of me playing it. The last time I made a video like this, it was a 100-day video when I was in Hotel Arcus. So it has been quite a while since then, and I think it's warranted that we make a video like this. Some context on me so you can either trust the information that I say or don't trust it. I am a 285 Lara main on NA Reboot Kronos. Some of the achievements I have is I have soloed Hard Saren, I have cleared normal Kalos, and I am working on clearing normal Calling as well in a party. My account and my gear is very similar to what I have since the last video. A lot of the biggest differences I made was I true 3-lined a lot of my gear, essentially all of it minus the hat. I've worked on some other things, but mostly I'm now trying to work on true 3-lining my weapon, getting a stat glove, and hopefully getting a Saren emblem with true 3-line magic. I won't be touching this until that happens. Sack is at 330 and Arcane is maxed. My familiars is 30 boss, 40 IED. I have large item drop rate, and I do have another 30 boss. The reason why I do not use 30 boss over 40 IED is because, for one, if you did see my WSC, I have a lot of values in boss, and I have boss in here, so my boss is very, very high. And the fact that these future bosses in Grandis specifically have higher PDR. If you don't know what PDR is, it is essentially the calculation of how much damage you do to a boss based on the IED that you have. The higher the PDR, the more IED you are going to need to do the maximum damage possible. And since we are going from 300 PDR like Lucid, Will, Black Mage to 380 PDR in the grandest bosses like Saren upwards, I believe it is better to have this IED over boss, and is the reason why it is my third slot. Some future goals I want to make, so besides actually clearing the boss that I am near, Calling, I want to solo as many bosses as I can, as far as I can go. So that being Easy Calling, that's coming out next week Tuesday, and Easy Kalos. Easy Kalos I actually have very high confidence in at the moment of recording, because of the fact that I have already soloed Hard Saren. That boss has more HP than Kalos, and since I have already aware of the normal Kalos mechanics, I do believe I have a good shot at clearing that pretty quickly. Now, I want to talk about Lara as a class overall. If you recall, I did talk about the 100-day review video I did back then, and I made some thoughts that I commented on, and they're not the opinion that I have now. A good example of that is I said that Lara was a burst and dip type of class. It is absolutely not. And the reason why I think of this is try to understand what Lara was before 6 job and its fundamental part of its class. It does its burst incredibly quickly. Lance connection and all of these stuff are out very, very quickly. If you were to place your Arbor away, your Grandis early, and you were to bind, press your Theoretical Roar, and press all 4 of these skills, you would get your burst done and dealt with in about 7 to 8 seconds, if not less time. Because it's just so easy to get your burst off. But because of that, and it's easy to get your burst off, there's only so much time you can do damage to a boss. A lot of the higher DPS classes have a longer burst than us. And because they have a longer burst than us, and that burst being a bigger impact to them in their 3-minute BA, I would not classify us as a burst class. I would say we are much more DPM because of how much damage we do throughout our DPM phase with our low cooldown skills and our high uptime with our summons. Another thing I wanted to comment on is Lara's survivability. Okay, this is what I had a whole thing about a year ago. But Lara's survivability, it is not the best in the game. It's not. But the reason why I think people believe it is so bad when I believe it is actually pretty good is because it is not traditional. Now, what do I mean by that? For one, they have ethereal form in the mage kit, This is a skill where although you can tank certain things, it will go into your MP cost, and while you are in ethereal form, you cannot do anything. You can't auto attack, you can't do any of your basic abilities. I was trying to flash jump. You're just restricted. Another thing is Mountain's Embrace. It's very similar to the restriction thing where you have to stand still, you cannot move. But although it says that it actually tanks abnormal status, there are certain things that it goes over. An example of this is Saren Gauge and Black Mage Curses. Although you have this up and you get hit, you will still take Black Curse and White Curse and might take a Curse Death for it. Now, although I just named a lot of potential issues with it, if you understand when you can use these abilities, it becomes a lot more useful once you realize the things it can get you out of. An example is E-Form in Kalos. In Kalos, there is a test where you need to get into these 5 yellow balls that appear, and if you aren't within it within a certain amount of time, you will just die. If you pop your E-Form before the damage comes out of that test, you will not die. And that is a mage privilege that we have, and there are other things similar to that. Another part about Mountain's Embrace is it's incredibly good when it comes to chip damage. If you've ever done Black Mage and you've gotten tanked by Chains and Cat Eyes, Mountain's Embrace with the Hyper Passive, specifically Extra Shield, you will tank so much more damage, and you can actually never take HP damage if you're only getting hit by Cat Eyes when this is up. Because the chip is too small, because it cuts the reduction over half, and you get a shield on top of it. It is very, very good. Also, I didn't mention this, but my Hexa Matrix is 9 Origin, 9 Essence Sprinkle, all into the core stats, and my Hexa stat is 553. Hoping I get 7 main stat. Now, going back on the subject actually about Lara's survivability, another thing they have is the TP skill. Although there is the comment about you can't really control where your TP is, you honestly can. Because you can control the direction at which you TP based on where you face. And you can do it in the air. It's a very good mobility skill for getting out of very sticky situations. Let's say if I flash jump in front of me, I might die. I can just cancel it very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. It's a very, very useful skill that I believe once you get the hang of it, because it's not that traditional, it will become a lot more valuable to you the more you realize how to use it efficiently in certain scenarios. Now, I just wanted to talk about some final thoughts on Lara overall. Getting rid of the whole survivability thing and the burst. I really like Lara still, overall. And I believe the reason why I still like it to this day is because of the complexity and the simplicity. What I mean by that is Lara is so simple in nature. Your biggest goal is to place your 3 summons, get your burst off efficiently, and make sure you upkeep your summons and your low cooldown skills. I just described how to play Lara, but it is something that it is very difficult to do because you are trying to keep up summon cooldowns that are only 17 seconds, and you're keeping up 3 of them at a separate time. You also need to make sure that you're attempting to auto as much as you can without getting hit, and making sure that you're popping your cooldowns when they're up, and making sure that you're buffed up completely. It is a class that I believe you can really tell the good Laras from the great Laras and the great Laras from the best Laras. So that is the reason why I really have a lot of fun with this class overall. Anywho, I'm probably going to make a video in the future going over some Lara tips and tricks, like an overall general guide that I believe might help some people. But until then, I will be ending the video. Hope you have a good one. Hope you take care. And that's it.